Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, make sure you smash that like button so you know YouTube can know that you like the video and you're rocking with True School Sports. Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, fresh off of his highly disputed win over Sergey Derevyanchenko. As for what he's going to do with the next part of his career, that's been reported by Michael Benson on Twitter. Go give Michael Benson a follow on Twitter if you haven't already. He's a fantastic writer, always posting the latest boxing news. But Michael Benson tweeted, and he got this from The Athletic, so shout out to The Athletic for writing the article. Gennady Golovkin is reportedly, he already had a deal in place to defend the belt, defend the IBF title against Kamil Szmierta from Poland. And he fought on the undercard of Golovkin versus Derevyanchenko. And he stopped some Mexican journeyman in like 2 rounds. And pretty much that's pending IBF approval, and if they approve it, it'll count as a mandatory defense, and that should be sometime next year. And that's what it is. Now, Kamil Szmierta, I mean, that's we can't, as boxing. I mean, me personally, I can't really get excited about that fight because I know it's boxing. Anything can happen. You don't want to disrespect any fighters, and Szmierta was an exceptional amateur. He had over 150 amateur wins. He only lost like 22 times, so he has a deep amateur pedigree, but when you look at his professional record right now, as it stands, he's 21-0 with 5 knockouts, and you can count on knockouts he's had in my hand. Now, I know boxing is not about knockouts. I understand that, but when you fight a guy like Triple G, when you're fighting a guy like Gennady Golovkin, you need to be able to hurt him. You need to be able to keep him honest. Make him respect you. And if he doesn't respect your power, he's walking right through it because Triple G has one of the most durable chins in boxing history, probably. He's never been dropped. He's never been stopped. Apparently, he's never even been dropped in sparring, supposedly, but who knows that one. So, is Kamil Szmierta from Poland, the number 4 ranked IBF challenger, 21-0 with 5 knockouts, is he going to do that? I don't think so, because I had a chance to watch him fight for the first time on Saturday, and just my first impressions of him were that he was a solid fighter, nothing special. A guy that looked like he was a good amateur fighter because he has good fundamentals. He knows how to place his punches. He has, he brings his hands back. He does all the basics pretty good, but I didn't really see anything of I didn't see anything. I didn't see any qualities in the ring that will lead me to believe that this guy was going to be the next world champion in the middleweight division. I didn't see it. So I'm not really excited about hearing this. And I'm not excited for what the alternative is because I don't want to see a third Canelo fight. So my thing is like Gennady Golovkin and Canelo as well, but Gennady Golovkin, these two have the middleweight division hostage right now because there's so many promising middleweight fights that could be made. You have a guy like Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade who just oozes talent and is just waiting for a big fight, and none of these guys want to fight him. Canelo, every time they talk about Canelo about Andrade, he goes into witness protection. Every time they ask Gennady Golovkin about Boo Boo Andrade, he forgets how to speak English conveniently. So it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you're fighting the Kamil Szmiertas of the world, guys with 5 knockouts. I mean, I got to each his own, And I know that a lot of his fanboys that watch my channel and that are that have YouTube channels are gonna say, oh well, Szmierta is he's a mandatory and he's ranked number 4 and all that garbage, but it's ridiculous. Because look, my thing is this: Gennady Golovkin is 37. He's an old guy. He's no spring chicken in the ring. He's 37, 38 years old. That's old enough on its own. But then when you factor in his amateur career, where he had like 300 fights, and you factor in all the rounds he sparred in the gym, and then you factor in all the fights he's had as a professional, he is an old man in boxing terms. He's got a lot of wear and tear on the body. So I thought when he signed to DAZN and they gave him all this money, all these guarantees, that he was going to show some ambition, try to become the undisputed middleweight champion. He hasn't done that. He hasn't done that. Hasn't done that at all. Since he signed to DAZN, let's just look at this objectively for a second. Since he signed to DAZN, his first fight was earlier this year with Steve Rolls. None of us knew who Steve Rolls was, except for the only person, I'll give him credit, the only person I know that knew who Steve Rolls was, and he's been subscribed to my channel for a couple of years, is my main man, Mr. Smurf 459. Big shout out to him. He's known who Steve Rolls is because he's friends with him. But aside from him, nobody knew who Steve Rolls was. and Steve Rolls wasn't ranked anywhere. Steve Rolls had only fought on television like once or twice, and that's who Gennady Golovkin picked to fight for his DAZN debut. And to be fair to Steve Rolls, because I'm not going to get on here and just shit on Steve Rolls. Steve Rolls put up a decent fight for the 4 or 5 rounds that he was in there. I thought he won like 2 rounds at least. You know, it looked pretty good. But ultimately, he was out of his depth, and Golovkin, you know, hit him with that one-hitter quitter and got him out of there. Folded him up. And then he fought Derevinchenko, which I understood because that was a fight that pre-DAZN, you know, that was supposed to happen in last year when Canelo had the whole clenbuterol situation and they had to cancel the fight. They had to push that back and get a replacement opponent. He could have fought Derevinchenko, you know, who was his mandatory. But did he fight him? No. He paid him step-aside money, and he cherry-picked Vaughn's Martirosyan. So then he fights Derevinchenko, who he should have fought last year. And I thought he lost to him. Straight up, he lost to him, in my humble opinion. And then now you're going to fight Kamil Sherta. So if that goes through, and that's his 3rd fight in DAZN, we're talking about Steve Rolls, Derevinchenko, which is a good fight, and then Kamil Sherta. That's not encouraging. And what that suggests to me, your boy BT here on True School Sports, is that Gennady Golovkin has lost his hunger for boxing. I mean, in the ring, he looks like a shell of himself. He doesn't look like as good as he used to be. And why would he be as good as he used to be? He's 38 years old. You know, unless you're Manny Pacquiao, you're not going to look good that old in boxing, okay? So my thing is this: if you're not going to challenge the best fighters in the division, like even if you would have said, okay, I'm not going to fight Boo Boo Andre, but you know what? I want to fight Jamal Charlo. I would have accepted Jamal Charlo. That would have been a decent fight because Charlo's been calling his name for quite some time. Hell, even if he wanted to go with Matthew Korobov, or if he fought Dennis Hogan, you know, any one of those guys, you know, someone like that. Those are fighters that have proven themselves, you know. They proven themselves. So I'm just hoping. Even Ryota Murata, who just beat Rob Brandt, that would have been a good fight. So there was other options. There was other names in the division besides Kamil, Mother Loving Sherta. But that's who you want to fight because, I don't know, Triple G, man, he's become a businessman. That's what he is. He ain't no killer no more. He's a straight businessman. And I ain't mad at him because the fight game is brutal. And when he hangs up his gloves, I'm not paying his bills, and you're not paying his bills. He's got to look after himself. So I get it. It's his prerogative. But he can't go up there after fighting Steve Rolls, his first DAZN fight, and now he's looking at fighting Kamil Sherta and say, I want to fight the best, and it's his big drama show and all that BS he likes to say in his post-fight interviews. He has to fight. He has to really show that ambition, and that goes for Canelo as well. I mean, he's showing it in different ways, but I'm talking about as far as it concerns the middleweight division. These guys got to show that ambition to try to unify and go undisputed. I don't think that it's gonna be on the radar. And Canelo is one thing because Canelo has always been a guy who has selectively moved his way through weight classes. He's never tried to become undisputed. So we know what we're getting with Canelo. But for Triple G, he's been a middleweight his entire career. All 30-plus fights have been in the middleweight division. And the whole talk of him this whole time he's been boxing was he's got to go undisputed. He's got to go undisputed. I want all the belts. I want all the belts. And now you got freaking Canelo's understandable because he's fighting Kovalev, but then you got Demetrius Boo Boo Andre just sitting there pretty with the WBO title. No fight lined up. Nobody wants to fight him, and I don't hear you calling his name. And that makes what GG said earlier in his career look like BS. So I'm not really too encouraged about this news. I'm hoping somehow it doesn't happen and he fights someone better than Kamil. At least somebody with more punching power, because Kamil Sherta is going to get murdered fighting Triple G. Mark my words, take it to the bank, save this video. You know, he is going to get absolutely brutalized by Triple G if Triple G doesn't get old overnight, because I saw him fight on this past Saturday, and he does not have the punching power to keep Triple G honest. And Triple G is one of those fighters that if you do not have the punching power to keep him honest, he is going to walk through your punches, he's going to walk you down, he's going to put a bunch of physical and mental pressure on you, and he's going to catch you with something nasty. The perfect example of that will be his fight against Steve Rolls. Steve Rolls was a long, rangy fighter, pretty athletic too, and we saw what Steve Rolls was doing. Steve Rolls was landing punches, but they weren't having an effect on Triple G. And Triple G, every round, he got closer and closer and closer, and before you know it, it was bang, bang, boom, and that was all she wrote. So it'll probably be the same thing when he fights Mr. Kamil from Poland, but I wish Kamil the best. And who knows, man? You never know what's boxing, but I highly, highly doubt he's beating Triple G. And for these reasons, I have to call into question Triple G's ambition. Does he truly want to be the undisputed middleweight champion like he was saying early in his career? I don't think so, but that's my humble opinion. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys, the Triple G fans and the Triple G haters as well. Leave your comments down below. Like the video. Take time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just giving Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.